Hello, my friends. This is the voice of your friendly neighborhood Tenkaichi, Pukiizzy7, and this is the Tenkai Talk. Well, after our first engaging episode, which was last week, I have to say, I had some really interesting feedback from probably the main meat and potatoes part of the first podcast that I've actually ever done. And I have to say thank you for the feedback. It was really much appreciated. So, with that only means it's a success and we can move on and we can do an episode 2. So, the things that happened during this week for episode 2. Now, first off, let's talk about this weather we're having. This weather is very hot. I'm pretty sure everyone across the U.S. is having some bit of this summer heat wave we've been getting. And because of this summer heat wave, well, that really kind of puts a damper on my plans that I usually do during the day, which is I usually go out and either pick up some things from the store, head down to GameStop, or perhaps just go out and get something to eat. Now, I did do a bit of shopping earlier this week, as well as, took care of a few things. What happened this week in my life is the fact that I went to Mom's doctor appointment. And of course it was a checkup. And from what I heard, because I was sitting in the waiting room reading Tezuka's Blackjack Volume 1. I did order that sometime back after AX had passed. So I ordered the first 3 volumes of it. So I figured, you know what, I might as well just get some reading done. And I must have read up until the last 2 stories. And the last 2 stories of the Volume 1 of Blackjack are The Legs of an Ant and Two Loves. So I read up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I read 9 out of 11 stories in just one day. Now that tells you, as an author, I'm really a bookworm. I mean, that's the reason why that's the reason why sometimes I need a good book just to sometimes give me something to use for, say, imagination fuel, per se. Because sometimes it's very hard to actually focus on, trying to make a story in which you need some fuel for your story. So reading is a great tool for fuel. But as I mentioned before, after I got sidetracked, how's everyone dealing with this heat wave? Because over here in California, we've been getting a lot of heat over here. And I mean, earlier today, after I've waited until the caretaker got here, I basically went out. Excuse me. I went out like a light. I went to sleep around, I'll say, 8 to 9 o'clock. I believe it was close to 9. It was 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, I just that's it. And I've been literally out of it since 5. So I slept from 9 to 5. I slept a whole day. Got up around 6. And of course, got online, checked my email and whatnot. And I just realized, god damn, it's hot. It's hot to the point in which, I know the difference between me being asleep and me just being passed out. I have a feeling the whole entire time that I was just, down for the count, as it were, I was literally passed out. Because for the last couple of days, I haven't been able to get any, I haven't been able to get any sleep. And that's because of, well, the things that have been happening in my life outside of, us worried about the house and everything. And I mean, everything is settled, which is a good thing. But, more and more problems keep popping up, and, it gets presented to me, and I'm like, I can't deal with this shit right now. We just got over one problem. Can we get over this problem so we can just move on, please? Thank you. So, that said, the heat wave hasn't been helping either, because, like I said, more times that I feel I'm sleeping, I wake up just sweating like a dog. And I know I know for a fact that, like, the heat wave is, like, so powerful. It's like I'm sopping wet when I first get up. It's like I can feel it on my head. My head is the first thing that lets me know, oh, I need to get up. The body is the second thing, but the head is the first thing. So, man, this heat wave, it is just fierce. And I just checked the Weather Channel not too long ago. Well, online rather. Checked the 10-day forecast, and from what I've read, it's going to continue until Sunday, and then hopefully lower by, say, next Tuesday. And I'm going to be clear and honest about this. I personally cannot wait until the weather kind of cools down, because it's like, okay, I know for a fact that I can't function after a certain number of hours. I mean, the whole time around summer, as you well know, that during the end of June to the start of July, every year I go to Anime Expo. And Anime Expo, most people have to go through LineCon. And for those who don't know what LineCon is, if you have ever gone to a big convention, like, say, Comic-Con, PAX, Anime Expo, and the like, LineCon is that one line you do not want to be in. Because as soon as you go in there, you are bound to wait. You are bound to wait for at least 3 or up to 5 hours. And sometimes they could be worse if you show up on day 1. Well, me, I show up at day 0 because I don't feel like going through all that bullshit when, day 1 arrives. I want to go through and do my business. Well, it seemed like it was nice. It was nice because, hey, I managed to do the following. For all the days I went there, I took the bus. I took the bus to and back from Anime Expo. And I noticed when the heat was just picking up, it kind of made me sick. Sick to the point in which I couldn't eat. Because I could tell, like, a part of me was just just outright sick. I could tell. It was just in my stomach. I could feel it in my stomach. And I think it might have been the con fever. Now, if you never had that good for you. I never had con fever. But I think it's just a mix between, the after effect of you coming down from being at such a big event and the rush and everything. That, and you're going up there and the food is prepared differently than where you're at. Now, I'm not saying it might have been food poison, but it's definitely like my energy just hit a big spike after I came back from AX. Because, I'm usually excited and whatnot, so that's good. But it's usually when I come back down, like, poof, it's just like that. My energy just makes a big drop and poof, just like that. I mean, I'm okay and everything. I do exercise. So it's just, I have to allow that drop to happen. So, therefore, I can get that balance back again. But, like I said, also, I take into effect the weather. Because, as I said before, this heat wave has really affected me. And it's like, I normally don't usually sleep that long. Unless if there's something wrong with me. And that something wrong with me was probably just that energy drop. Or the fact that I was overheating. So don't worry, I am drinking water. I'm keeping myself hydrated. It's just this heat wave has just been crazy. In some parts of the US there's heat waves. In another part of the U.S., there's been storms. It's just crazy. I know Ryu has been mentioning that in this area, in North Carolina, that he's been getting storms in this area, and I'm pretty sure. In one part of the U.S., you're getting storms. In another part of the U.S., you're getting heat wave. Now, Sheena mentioned that she's been getting heat wave, and she doesn't really like it because it's so hot. I can understand that too, because, like I said, for me, it's the same thing. It's too hot. Also, Meg, who lives in Connecticut. She also says that it's been hot as well. So it's like, well, heat wave, storm, heat wave. So I'm pretty sure in Florida, Indianapolis, and whichever part of the world, you're either getting one or two. You're getting heat wave or storm. And that's the funny thing. It's like, okay, you're either getting heat wave or you're getting storm. So it's just been, we just been having this weird weather. It's like you either have it or you don't. And I can imagine if I was living in either Texas or Louisiana right now, I would get storm. I'm pretty sure I would get storm if I was living there right now. Apparently I'm not, though. Because really, I don't really have any, actual relatives per se to visit in Louisiana. I mean, most of my cousins are either living on their own, married, and or otherwise, but mainly they're mostly married or in college or something like that. So, like I said, no reason for me to go down to Louisiana. I mean, it'd be nice to see them, but life and the pursuit of happiness and all that. And if you can hear this, I have my tower AC and my ceiling fan. So you're probably going to hear a little like that So, like I said, it's just been hot over here. So, I mean, it's survivable as long as you know the perfect time to just go out and do what you gotta do, and then come back in before it really gets hot. Namely here where I am. Namely, what you want to do is you want to go around between the hours of 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Between 7 to 11, you want to get in that time just to do what you gotta do, because at 12 o'clock is peak hours, and when that happens, you gotta get your ass back right to back where you were, because when that sun hits, it's like an explosion. I'm probably just over exaggerating it, but it really does get hot later. And I managed, well, of course, when I was at AX, I left around, say, 9 o'clock, showed up around 10. I'm waiting for the bus, after all. So basically what I did was stop by McDonald's, ate something, make sure I have something in my stomach before I leave for AX. Of course, carry my badge with me as my ID, and all my other stuff, and just like that. And for those who say, "Oh well, you know, I'm off." I mean, I hear this from Sheena sometimes. She often tell me that she's jealous of me going to an expo. I say, don't be. Don't be, really. Don't be jealous of me just because I need an out from everything. It's like there's a time which I need an out, and then there's a time which I just want to go on vacation. That's it. Anime Expo is my out. It is my way of just getting away from things, dropping things for like 3 to 4 days. Just let my hair loose and, enjoy myself. I mean, hell, I bought a lot of good stuff from there, and half the stuff that I really haven't gone through yet is because I hadn't had time to. I know what you're thinking. Why? Because of Let's Plays. That's why. Yes, and also because of that, I finished 2 Let's Plays. Recently, I finished Go-Go 13, Top Secret Episode, aka Go-Go 13, Episode 1, Twilight of the Gods. And I want to say to everyone who has dropped me a comment and some feedback, thank you so very much. Because, just to be honest, there's no way in the world I would have done that legit. Because, as you well know, Go-Go 13 has the most strangest of hitboxes. It really does. You try shooting someone, they really won't go down unless you just hit them at a certain point. And then on top of that, then you gotta deal with an FPS maze. You have to deal with 5 SPF mazes. 1 in Act 3, 1 in Act 7. Act 7 can go to fucking hell. Actually, no, it's actually 4. You're dealing with one with Act 3, Act 7, Act 11, and 12. Since there are 13 acts, you deal with 4 of those mazes, and the rest are just, side scroll. But within those 4 maps, one took me 40 some odd minutes just to clear through it. Another took me 2 whole hours. Well, actually, it took me longer than that. It took me like 3 hours, but I cut a lot of footage down because I was going through one item. I was just going to get one item and then get another item. and then get the most important item. Because like one, you had to get in one stage you had to get the key and a diary. In another stage, you just had to get the key, the goggles, and the M16. Technically, after that, the other two were just okay going through. The last two maps were just okay going through. And then after that, you had the final boss, which was the most convoluted final boss I've ever dealt with in all my history as a Let's Player. Because you're not dealing with a final boss. You're dealing with the final boss, a lot of goons, and bits. Laser bits. You're dealing with this, and then you shoot the button in order for you to snipe the final boss, because all it is a giant brain. Just protect it. So, I was asked if I were to do the Mafat Conspiracy, aka the Riddle of Icarus. I said no. Because I looked at the maps, I said, okay, first off, if I'm going to go through this, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the first game. I am going to legitimately cheat it. Because there's no way I could have ever done it legitimately. I mean, think about it. To do a game that old for that long. I mean, it was only like 7 parts when I did the whole thing. I deleted it in my way. When you go through something like that, that becomes a challenge. That is no longer a game. It suddenly becomes a challenge. It's like you versus something so big that only you have to go through it. You have to go through it. Okay? It's almost like, let me see, let me try to compare myself with somebody else. Big. I compare, let's just say, okay. Big is taking on Mighty Number 9. Just like him taking on Lama Lana. If there was a 3. It's like you're taking on a challenge much bigger than yourself, and you have to prove something. Me, I had no reason to prove it, because it was just 13 acts. Okay, I can get through this, no problem. Because it took me 22 minutes just to get through Act 8, 9, 10, and then stop at 11 and 12. Because 11 and 12 are just two maps, and you go to the final area. Because you're going underwater. After you've done that, then you go underwater. Then you go up to where the base is and the final boss. So that really was just like, But yes, why did I compare that to Big and what he's dealing with on his channel and streams? Because he likes a good challenge. He likes to prove that he can beat this game. He likes to prove that, it can be done. In which we tell him, no, you don't have to prove anything. Me, I didn't have nothing to prove with this game. It's just something that just tells me, you know what, just fuck it. This game is not going to play favorites with me, so I'm not going to play favorites with it. And seeing that it's an old game, well, there you have it. It's a clunky game that most people say it's very challenging because, you got to go through this many areas. And you got these 4 maps that will really try you because you're going from point A to point B. Oh, and by the way, this one map has a whole lot of pitfalls. And the pitfalls itself will just basically just rip and tear your hair out. Apparently it did not happen for me. But again, to those who have left me a message about Google 13, thank you so much for that. Like I said, I don't see myself doing Mafia Conspiracy after all that. I said probably after some time has passed, maybe I might consider it. But other than that, no. Mafia Conspiracy is a definite no on my list. And for all things stupid, I'm going to consult. I'm going to bring out a friend of mine that you heard on Earthbound. I'm going to bring out Mr. Saturn. That's right, I'm going to bring out Mr. Saturn on stupid events that also happened during the week. So, for instance, most of you have noticed the candidacy that's been going on, and most of you have qualms about Trump. So, Mr. Shannon, what do you have to say about that? Dope it! No, there you go. I'm just gonna let you have the floor, Mr. Saturn, because, you have a lot to say. I do! President Dope! President Dope? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Mr. Shannon just has a lot on his mind. He doesn't want to mention so much. We are the derp again, my friend. We just keep shooting at the end. Da 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 da. We are the stupid. We are the stupid. Yeah, we know. We know. Because as you well know, Trump did it again when he actually pulled out something that he shouldn't have done, which was claims "We Are the Champion" for his theme song. And apparently, they didn't like it. I don't blame them. You pull out a cool-ass theme from way back in the days. We're talking about the 80s. And you're going to try and slap it on to someone like him. Now, regardless of what people say, drop that dope! Yeah, he really is. He really is, And what he said was, he's a dupe. You don't know what that means, but we get a feeling in Mr. Saturn language, it means really stupid. Yeah, okay. And another thing that's been happening in the news lately is the aftermath of Ghostbusters. The 2016 remake. It's hard to tell if it is a remake or it's a reimagining of Ghostbusters. And never have I heard so many people just lash, and I mean just freaking lash on a movie. I mean, I've noticed that when certain movies come out, and I've been waiting a long time to talk about this. But when certain movies come out, really you have to rely on the trailer to prove if it's a good movie or a bad movie. Seriously, people. people. It's like this. A trailer does not define the movie, nor does a review of it. And the thing is, you can either do one or two things. You can go see it, or save your money and just wait for it to come out on DVD and Blu-ray. Seriously, it doesn't make no sense. Why would you want to just blow up on the internet, say I didn't like this movie because of A, B, C, D, F, G? And mind you, the movie wasn't even a thing yet until it really had a proper release. And most people just jumped on the bandwagon just saying it was terrible because it wasn't like the 1984 version. And of course, let's not forget that there have been many versions of Ghostbusters. You had the 1984 one. I'll just say it like this. You had the Columbia Pictures one. You had the animated version, which was based off that movie. Then you had another version, which was made by Filmation, which was based off a classic version from a different era. It's probably like around the 60s or something like that. And they based it off that version. And then you have a later version called the Extreme Ghostbusters, which pretty much may or may not have anything to do with the movie whatsoever. And then, of course, people, kept talking about Ghostbusters 3 right after the second one that I failed to mention. And it just happened right after the first one. I said, and then you got like I said, the Ghostbusters, the 2009 Ghostbusters video game. Because, well, let's face it, that was pretty much the closest you'll ever have to getting a Ghostbusters 3. And maybe sometime on my channel, I will do Ghostbusters the video game. And on top of that, we got a new Ghostbusters video game, which isn't as good as the 2009 version by Terminal Reality and Activision. And it's a shame. It's really a shame. Because people are saying, well, I don't like it because it's okay for you not to like it, but don't just hate on the people who were working their asses off on them. On the movie itself. I mean, I was listening to Dan Aykroyd talk about one of the actresses who were playing the part of one of the Ghostbusters, and she's been taking a lot of flack, unneeded flack, just because of A, B, C, D, F, G, and they're mostly racial slurs and whatnot. Now, we've come to the forefront of this age in which we have allowed social media and technology to rule our way of thinking. We don't use our own minds anymore. We don't go out to a movie and without looking at, say, a trailer or a review of it. Because to be all honest, whenever I make a review, it's just from my personal preference. I don't go by what everybody else says. Well, such and such did this. I don't care. I'm doing it my way, and I'm telling it like it is. When I like a movie, I'll just say it. I like it because of A, B, C, D, F, G. Same thing if I didn't like a movie. I have my reasons. There go from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But I think the backlash of the female version of Ghostbusters, it just ain't right. It just ain't right. Because as I said before, you don't really have to like this series. You don't have to like the movie. You don't even have to watch the movie. Because if you're that upset, you're that irate over this version, and you're saying it's not like the original, of course it's not like the original. There's nothing original about a remake of an original movie. But then again, everybody's just, everybody in this generation are just more irate than anything because, and it's not just movies. It's with anything else. It's like with TV, with video games, with a good book, with, with anything that is of interest of media. Any form of media. People will jump on it like it's a slab of meat, and they're all salivating over it, but only one can get to it. So that's my thing, and I look at that and I just shake my head and just move on. It's like this. There's talk of a reboot of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, and most people, from what I've read on Facebook, most people are in the middle. Some like it and some hate it. Some like it because they're talking about the first Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie when it came out, and they're remaking it because you have the original 5 Rangers, yes, but there are a few changes, namely talking about all the Rangers are different. They're not like the the Rangers you remember on TV and the movie. So they're really using the original 5 from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And another thing I noticed that they talked about in the Tokusatsu group that I'm a part of on Facebook is that they talk about the helmets and the suits, the whole helmet and suit. And some people say it looked like it came out of Iron Man. Me, I look at it and said, it looked like a Dragoon. And that's all I'd say. Because, to be perfectly honest, when you start to remake something is always going to be missing. It's like, let's take it from the source material. Kyoyu Sentai Zyuranger. Kyoyu Sentai Zyuranger told the story of 5 heroes from 5 different tribes. Well, actually 6 if you count Dragon Ranger. Excuse me. But the original plot was Bandora just didn't like the dinosaurs because of what happened to her child. Her only son was killed by a dinosaur. I believe that's what happened. And she cursed them because of what happened. She not only cursed them, but she cursed herself just for that. And she's been, the Witch Bandora since then. So, of course, you haven't heard this before. I'm just giving you a short synopsis of it. And then you got the wizard, Barza, in which was dubbed over here as the interdimensional being known as Zordon. And what he did was he woke up the 5 chosen rangers of legend, which came from, ancient races based off of the dinosaurs. You got the mammoth, aka the mastodon. You got the saber tooth, or as the saber tooth tiger, or as they would call it in Japan, the saber tiger. The pterodon, or the pterodactyl. The triceratops, and of course the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And of course there was the 6th one, which is the dragon. So a lot of that has been lost in the translation. And the only reason why the original story was theirs because, well, they were already legendary rangers. They were just brought to life because it was their time to basically save the world. And the only reason why Bandora just didn't like children was because of just that one reason. And I will say this: if you've never seen Kyoryu Zentai Zyuranger, I would say if you have an Amazon account, go order that. Go order that. They have the entire series on DVD. Or if you can't order it, try to find it at Best Buy. But I'd say ordering is your best option if you want to do so. But going back to what I was talking about, they're remaking a story which was already made back in the 90s, early 80s. I mean, late 80s, early 90s. And basically, when it was converted over to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a lot of footage just got, spliced. So there wasn't much story going on. So it's like, oh, all this stuff about kids and whatnot. No, just pick. They just did a lot of picking and whatnot. Because, back in the 90s, they did a lot of picking, a lot of editing and whatnot when a lot of anime came out. So now that they're remaking and rehashing stuff, it's like, okay, let's just make things just a little more darker, a little more of this, a little more of that. So I can't say anything more about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers remake. Or I could call it a rehash or reimagining or whatever you call it. But it's like, if you're interested, go see it. I'm not interested. Because once you watch Sentai, oh, that's it. You pretty much like, okay, Sentai's where it's at. You don't have to worry about anything more than that. So I'm not entirely sure about that. So as I said before, guys, just you don't have to look at a movie. You don't have to look at a trailer just to know if the movie's gonna be bad or not. A trailer cannot tell you if a movie is bad. I mean, most people are just basically, I don't know what's the word, spoiled, because a trailer, a 1-minute trailer, can tell you so much. Whereas compared to watching the whole movie. Or if you're listening to somebody who has watched the movie and they want to share their output about it, then that's fine. But don't take their word for it just because, oh, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. This person, this guy, this girl, whoever is doing the reviews, they know what they're talking about. No, they don't. Because they're only doing some things which they don't want to spoil you with. That's why they say spoilers. They don't want to give out the juicy bits that happen in the movie, so therefore they say it's spoiler free. You know, I'm not going to do that because, oh, hey, I don't want you to, you know, get excited or whatnot. Or, you know, expect this to happen. I have far too many movies. Just basically just be that, you know. It's often spoiled because of the trailers. And I say this, I'm not gonna watch it when it comes out. I'm seriously not. I'm not gonna watch any movie that has a big huge crowd. Because I tell you why. I can't hear the movie. So I wait until like the crowd is nice and quiet. It's not too big. It's not too small, but it's just right. So where I can enjoy the movie at my own leisure if I so decide to go out and just go check out a movie. So it's okay for me to check out a movie, then say, oh, after all that, maybe I might do, you know, an after effect review of the movie of what I just saw and just share what I saw with you guys. It only makes sense. Right? I honestly feel this generation is just really, truly spoiled. They're spoiled by technology. They're either spoiled or they're dumbed down by the latest technology. Take Pokemon Go, for instance. Pokemon Go is just basically really a way to get you outside. And they did it for people who just can't seem to want to go outside or just have no reason to go outside. And I'll tell you one thing. I have in my hand a Pokewalker, and I did it but long before Pokemon Go was a thing. Because I had Pokemon Heart Gold, and since I pre-ordered Pokemon Heart Gold, I not only got a Pokewalker, but I got a Ho-Oh plastic statue for it because I pre-ordered it. So it just came with, and the only thing I had to do with this thing is get a new battery for it. And it could probably still work on my Nintendo DS. But really, I just use it as my pedometer. When I go for a walk, that's what I use it for. So I had this long before Pokemon Go. Okay, before Pokemon Go was a thing. I said, okay, I like this as a pedometer. I take it with me. I just walk and, you know, and just enjoy myself. I don't have to really just have to go search for Pokemon and whatnot. You didn't really have to. It was just not worth it. If you want to put your Pokemon into it, you could do that. You know, it's not gonna hurt. You just walk it. That's all you do. And play it. It was like Tamagotchi. You know, that's all it was. I said I like that. It's fine because you can actually find Pokemon. You know, at your own. You find Pokemon at your own leisure. You usually found rare Pokemon or items like that. But usually, you know, it's like Pokemon Go. I said, okay, we're gonna make walking enjoyable again. You never had to make walking enjoyable to begin with. All you had to do was get off your lazy ass, put on some clothes, walk out the door. Go to somewhere, you know, go to like a coffee house or McDonald's or something like that, a Subway, anywhere, you know, anywhere in which you can just get a good walk, sit, eat, enjoy the day, and then when you're done, go back home. Because let me tell you something, ain't nothing wrong with enjoying your day for what it's worth. That's what I try to do every time I go out. Whenever I go out for a walk, whether I take the bus or I don't take the bus, I enjoy my day for what it's worth. Whatever I'm going to do on that day, I enjoy it for all that it's worth. That's the most important thing. I feel most people have lost sight of that because it isn't, they have to have something along with them. I mean, if you're worried about this, I mean, like, this Pokemon Go thing, okay, y'all made into a trend. I'm like, yeah, I did Pokemon Go before there was a Pokemon Go. It was just called a pedometer. It's a pedometer shaped like a Pokeball. That's all I had, and that's fine. Because it's okay. It's okay just to go out for a walk, but you don't really need to just like, oh, I gotta capture a Pokemon at 3 a.m. in the morning. What? I have to find Pokemon and whatnot. I'm like, no, not 3 a.m. in the morning. I gotta search for some Pokemon at 6 a.m. And I'm like, no. I said, okay, for those who do that, it's either that's a cry for help, or you really don't have any life because you have to do this like it's a 24/7 thing, like you're actually in the video game, and believe it or not, that shit don't really happen in the video game. Okay, there is a story. There is something called plot, and you have to be part of the plot in order to advance the story. Now let's just say I've played many a Pokemon game before, but that doesn't make me a Pokemaniac. I'm not the type that just had to go by, well, this one has to go by this and this one, all the traits and categories and whatnot. I'm like, no. I just go with the ye old favorite of rock, paper, scissors. Because really, if you think about it, that's all Pokemon really is. Rock, paper, scissors with fuzzy animals. That's all it is. And then on top of that, well, then you got those religious idiots out there who state that Pokemon are evil. And I will say to that, y'all are the biggest bunch of idiots I ever heard. Y'all make me not want to know you. Because, oh hey, Pokemon is evil because of A, B, C, and D. I said, okay, first off, have you ever played a video game in your life? I said, you want to know what evil is? Evil is when you take things too far, and technically, from what you played in a video game, it distorts your reality, and therefore, let's say GTA. Some person was playing GTA, and they have a disturbed sense of reality. And this one person honestly believes that, okay, you are the only good in the world and everybody else is evil, and therefore you must pick up certain items just so you can shoot everyday citizens who are doing nothing but taking care of what they have to do and shoot them clear in the face. Now that's evil. That's evil right there. When you technically just say, you know what, this is evil, I'm like, Pokemon is not evil at all. But then again, I think they're just saying that because people aren't paying attention to, well, religion. I'm one of those people that just don't care for religion. I mean, yes, granted, I'm a Christian and all that, and I believe in God, but I also believe that I should live as much as I can. You know, enjoy life for what it is. And make sure that, you know, I don't go out of bounds with my code of conduct. You know, respect all life being the most important part of the code of conduct that I follow. Make sure to give thanks, which is, of course, just as important as, you know, living. Because as I'm reading this, I do have an Indian version of the Ten Commandments. And I'm going to try to read this. If I can take it down, hopefully I can take it down. Take it down very carefully. Oh, okay, I can't take it down. But one of them actually says, I'm going to turn my light on just so I can just blind it right there. Okay. Now it says here, treat the earth and all that lives thereon with respect. That means just what it says. Remain close to the Great Spirit, which is, you know, God. And show great respect for fellow beings. That's technically show respect for all life. Show respect for treat the earth right, because earth is your home. Respect the creator of the universe. Respect all life. Let's see, what does it say? Give abundance and kindness wherever needed. Help as much as you can. That means do what you know to be right. Look after the well-being and mind and body. Take care of yourself. That's what it means. Dedicate a share of your efforts to the greater good. Of course, that means give and shall be given unto you. Be truthful and honest to all. Be truthful and honest at all times. Take full responsibility for your actions. Now that's a down-to-earth version of the Ten Commandments. And that's what I've come to believe. That's what you have to do. As a human, that's what you need to do. You have to take responsibility for what you've done. Show love and kindness to your fellow man. Treat all with respect. Because if you treat people with respect, they will treat you with respect and kind. You have to give a portion of your revenue to charity. That's what it's basically saying. Give to charity. And the rest I just mentioned. But pretty much that's what I go through. You know, I believe, you know, I like to treat people with respect. I don't treat anybody else less than what a human should be treated. We don't have that. We don't have that kind of teaching anymore. And I think most people need to hear that sometimes. They need to hear what's really important. Not what you hear from evangelists and, you know, and whatnot, because God wants your money. No, God doesn't want your money. He doesn't mind if you give from your pocket. But not only give from your pocket, but also if you don't have anything but your talents, then just give. Share your talents. And that's what I feel I'm doing on YouTube every day. I feel like I'm sharing my talents as well as everybody else who are on YouTube with a small portion of the world. Now, yeah, I'm part of the Let's Play community, but that also means, whatever I'm sharing, it is going to a greater cause. I mean, it means like, if somebody on Twitter likes my work, they'll follow me. Okay, that's fine. It's the same thing. If somebody on Facebook likes what I do, they'll follow me as well. And sometimes they'll usually talk to me, but that usually don't happen very often. But when it does, it happens. The same thing if on Google, it all comes back. I share what little I know about what I know, and I give my time and effort just to share with you guys. And I feel that's important, especially in this generation. We got to share whatever we have with others. So yeah, Pokemon Go. I mean, it's okay, but really, it's. I feel just to go for a walk is totally unnecessary. Unless if you're that bored and you just really have to. You just get it and go just to pass the time. Yeah, sure, you can do that, but other than that, it's not really worth it. I mean, to me personally, it's not really worth it. I like to go for a walk. I like to pay attention to my surroundings. That's me. I have to pay attention to my surroundings. Let's see, what else happened this week? Yes. Tragedy happened. As you all know, Gary Marshall, he passed away. And he passed away of a stroke after pneumonia. And if you don't know who Gary Marshall is, Gary Marshall is the guy behind so many shows. Like Happy Days, A League of Their Own. Well, A League of Their Own was more of a movie. But you got Happy Days, Johnny Loves Chachi, the Dick Van... I think it was Dick Van Dyke Show. Dick Van Dyke Show. Make Room for Daddy, a.k.a. The Danny Thomas Show. Love American Style. And he provided his voice in Chicken Little. But yeah, he passed away earlier this week, which was Tuesday. Passed away this Tuesday, and it's sad, but that's a legend right there. And I know many people have passed away during this whole year. And we are going through July, and next month will be August. So hopefully August will hopefully be better than, July. I mean, we lost so many other people. But we lost a good number of people halfway in the year already. And we are nearly reaching we're reaching the second half. The second half, which is July. We're nearly over July and coming into August. About next week. But other than that, oh man, Gary Marshall. Gary Marshall passed away. That's some. Oh yeah, another show I used to watch in the 80s. Besides Happy Days, I Love American Style. Joni Love Chachi wasn't that big, but there was a show that I really used to watch almost religiously, and that's Mork and Mindy. And that was a good show. I mean, of course, you all remember who was on Mork and Mindy. You know, Pam Dauber and Robin Williams. God rest him. It was a good show. It was funny, you know. And it was right after the first series, which introduced Mork, which was technically Happy Days. Happy Days introduced Mork. So basically, Mork and Mindy was the, shall I say, sequel to that one episode in Happy Days. But I enjoyed it, you know. Many of the earlier shows, I really enjoyed it. I didn't really enjoy Laverne and Shirley that much because, I don't know, you watched it then, it was funny. You watch it now, it's not so funny. Because it make you start thinking about something else. And the first thing that popped in my head when I thought about Laverne and Shirley was Dirty Pair. Now trust me, think about it. It's like you got two chicks who are trying to find their way through life, and the only thing about it was halfway through one season, Shirley's character just like couldn't do it anymore. So basically, they just had to write her off via letter, and that was it. And it was just the Laverne show after that. Of course, there was the short-lived cartoon Laverne and Shirley Goes to the Army. Don't ask me how I know. YouTube. Yes, don't ask me how I know because of YouTube. And like I said, what I usually do on YouTube is, if I'm not recording anything, I'm usually watching Let's Plays, game shows, and sometimes old anime. Because I like my vintage. If it's not on YouTube, it's usually on Facebook. I'm either watching old cartoons or vintage anime and game shows. But that's what I usually do. Other than that, I think that's the only bad thing that has actually ever happened this week. I mean, it's a sad thing, but it's the only bad thing that actually happened this week. So, one last thing before I actually close up shop for this week on the Tenkai Talk. Now, I mentioned I finished 2 games, right? I finished 2 games. And on the side, during my free time, I am recording Transformers Devastation and Tales of Symphonia. Now, what I'll probably do is I'll probably give myself a break, but I'll continue Earthbound. I'll continue Earthbound and Neptunia. But as for anything else, I'll probably go on break for anything else that is on my that is probably on my current schedule. Now, probably this weekend I might do more Psychic Force just to finish it off, because it's just nine characters. 9 characters. All I had to do is just get through them. And you've only seen 2, so I just need to do the other 7. So other than that, I've yet to do the Ghostbusters 1984 review, so I'm probably going to do that because I I'd rather just, if I really want to cover a good Ghostbusters movie, it's gonna be the original. But aside from that, I'm just going to, take a break from doing a lot of mass recording. And like I said, I am going to continue Earthbound and Neptunia. But, for anything else until, say, September, or probably mid-August, I'm not going to really do much of anything. Except for maybe, Chest of Obscurity videos and reviews and whatnot. Because I do have a lot of stuff I have to cover and a lot of stuff I have to watch. And probably, maybe I might do a Blackjack book review of the series. Who's to say? But I can only say I hope you stick around for most of my content that I have on my channel. Usually I do say it, but usually I don't really say what I'm doing off on the side. I also have a few more games that I am going to pretty much try to get a few parts in and have them ready for the next couple of months ahead. It'll probably go into, say, partially some of 2017, if not all of 2017, and I will plan on taking a break in 2017. That's probably after everything has happened, after all the drama that we've been going through here at Tenkai House, and pretty much, the fact that I am tired of the drama. I am just going to basically just say, you know what? After New Year's, I'm going to just relax and get myself my vacation, take my 2 weeks, and then decide if I want to deal with the shit and deal with the daily grind and the daily shit like I usually do. Probably with a better outlook. So I'm pretty much going to pop in, say, the Tower Druaga anime. And speaking of that, yeah, that is on my list. That is on my list of future LPs, but it's not going to be called Let's Play the Tower Druaga. It's going to be called Izzy versus the Tower Druaga. So it's going to be me versus the Tower Druaga, but it's not going to be the arcade version. It's not going to be the NES version. It's going to be a special fan translated version of the Tower Druaga. My next Tenkai project after I do Earthbound will probably be Dragon's Dogma. Yeah, definitely it's going to be Dragon's Dogma. But that's going to take some time though. So yeah, next after Earthbound, it's not going to be immediately, but after I've gone through a lot of other games on my channel, it's definitely number 2 is definitely going to be Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. And for those who are wondering, Dark Arisen is the whole game, whereas Dragon's Dogma, if you were playing, the vanilla version of it, you're not getting the whole game. You're just getting part of the game. But Dark Arisen is the whole game. From what I've been told, it is the whole game, plus a few extra missions and whatnot. So a lot is going to go down when I actually do it. But for now, I'm just going to finish up what I currently have on my plate and pretty much just take it from there. When I get to Dragon's Dogma, that's going to be a challenge, but I like a good challenge. And then on top of that, number 3 on the Tenkai project, or Project Tenkai, as I like to call it, is going to be The Last Remnant. And I can't say when I'm going to do that, but I'm pretty sure when I do it, it's going to be a challenge as well. So, yeah, those are the only two bigger projects that aren't going to be Let's Playable. No, it's going to be Project Tenkai. That is definitely Project Tenkai worthy. So right after I finish with Earthbound is as repeater. After I finish Earthbound, Dragon's Dogma, and then The Last Remnant. When am I going to do them? I can't say. Upon other games that I have that will probably be on the description box or written down in the description box below. Y'all can take a look at that, and well, we'll see what happens from there on. But in any case, I'm going to actually put up this video now because it is a little after 12 o'clock and midnight rather, and like I said, it's Friday. I'm going to get more Chest of Obscurity videos going up pretty soon, so stay tuned for that on my channel. And please, if you have any feedback, please share. I'm interested in what you guys gotta say. So until then, I have been your friendly neighborhood Tenkaichi, Pookie7, and this was the Tenkai Talk. Stay tuned for more great content on my channel, and I'll see you next time for whatever I put up. So until then, take care, God bless, Senpai's blessings upon you, be safe and secure out there. And with that, Tenkai Muso!